All right, what's up, everybody? This is Bucky the Ducky, and with me is AnimeOtaku, and we are just going to sit down and do a tier list of the shows we have been watching lately. And it's not, we're just picking and choosing some of them, and we decided to do several different types of tier lists. So myself, Anime here will explain his list here for a minute.
Yeah, basically, I'm more of looking at it from I watched anime and I enjoy anime, but I also like to look at it and critically say, okay, I like this, I don't like this, this compares to this one. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm giving it a critic's rating and a critical review, essentially, of what I thought and what I enjoyed, or I guess not enjoyed, of each anime.
Right. So that's why, as you see here, we have an S through F rank, whereas my list is a bit different. I just recently started really pushing hard into the anime scene and kind of got enveloped by it. So instead of doing an S through F rank, I decided to go with a more casual approach to it, to what I believe is something that everybody should see, something that's really good, and it's really hard to find something else like it. Then obviously a good watch, and then it goes into, it was decent, but there were some things that I had problems with that could have made it better, and then the ones I flat out just did not enjoy. So we're going to start off over here with Anime on his first one, and he can explain a little bit about why he felt the way he did about it.
Okay, well, if I'm starting this off, then I'm going to start it off with, I guess you could say, the one that got me into. Well, I've been in anime before, and I got out of it, but then this one brought me back into it, and I've been watching it ever since. Even if I get away for a little bit or think I'm away from it, I'm always pulled back into it. And that is my first, going right into S tier. It's Angel Beats. Angel Beats,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely love it. It's a little bit of an older one, kind of in between, mid, I think early 2010, I think is when it came out, early
Mm-hmm.
2010, somewhere in that time frame. But definitely, it's only 13 episodes, but still, really great story, really great, just overall feel to it. It makes you feel good. It'll make you cry. It'll make you laugh. But
So it only
that
has
for
13
me,
episodes, huh?
yeah, it only has 13.
That's
Originally,
crazy.
well, the thing is, a fun fact. I did a little research into it because, for me personally, I want more. I wanted more. I wanted a sequel, but we're
Right.
not going to get. We're never going to get it. Originally, the writers actually had 26 episodes written out for the anime, but then I guess they were told or made the decision to actually cut it down to 13. Either way, 13, 26, I don't care. It's good. It's it'll give you everything you're looking for. It gives you comedy, it gives you romance, it gives you a little bit of feels. It hits you right in the feels on some of those moments. It
Okay.
you can't ask for anything better.
Okay. Fair enough. So if I was to start off my list, I'm not going to jump right into the must-sees right away. I'm actually going to go with one that I really enjoyed, but I don't know if it's going to be for everybody, but I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of it, and that is Aha Ren. Now, what's so interesting about this is, you've seen this before. You got two kind of outcast type characters and everything that end up, forming a bond kind of thing. But there's something about the way that it's done. Like, you just absolutely love both of the characters to the point where you're like, it's so wholesome, and the comedy in it is just gold. And I'm throwing that into the hard to match because there are other ones like it, but something about it just felt superior to me on the other compared to the other ones that I had seen. And I highly recommend it if you're looking for just a feel good slice of life like comedy. Like, it definitely deserves, more attention than it actually is getting, which is kind of crazy.
And see what you're saying is, there's others that are similar in a way. The problem is a lot of animes, they hate. they hit on a lot of the same concepts and a lot of the same plot points, but the thing that makes them different, the thing that'll set animes apart is how they execute it, the way they drive it.
And see, that's exactly why I like this one too, because both of the characters are ridiculously flawed, and it's not like one is a popular one, one's like the outcast or anything like that. No, they are both just incredibly flawed, and they just end up just developing a very close like friendship and all this other stuff without saying anything about it. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one then.
Yeah, I guess. I'll go and throw one. I'll start us off with one of the ones that for this list that or the beginning of this list, ones that we both watched. I don't know
Ah, okay.
how you'll agree with this one, but I want to throw gamers up there.
Gamers. All right, where are you going with it?
I'm putting it in C tier.
C tier. Okay.
Yeah, C tier. It has a good concept. Don't get me wrong, great concept. The way they drive it and the way they try to get their point across, not dissing on it one bit. It's obviously by the title, it has to do with gaming. Video games and all different types of games, to be honest, but mainly video games and everybody's particular taste, competitive, not competitive. But the way that it ended and the way we're not sure of, okay, is there more to it? Is there not more to it? Are we getting even more of it?
Right.
It leaves you hanging. It leaves you wanting more, and it's like, okay, you can't just leave it on that. The ending really leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Exactly. And that's why I was actually going to throw it into it could be better because I felt the exact same way. And like the characters are great, especially the one who tried to, I can't remember her name, but she's the one who was trying to get him into the club for the longest time and all that stuff. Like the development of the characters needed to be better to me. And it's like you were saying, we were just left hanging, and there's no way to know if we're even going to get more. So if we're basing it off of what it actually is, I mean, if I was to even put it on a point scale, I'd give it a 3 out of 10. But at the same time, I did enjoy it, but without having more to go off of, it really just is lackluster.
Some point.
Right. All right. So then, moving on from that one, we'll go with the next one that is a joint one that's going to be probably a controversy between you and I.
Oh, lovely. I love controversial. Let's do it.
Horimiya.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
I'm
I
slapping
knew
that
you were
into.
going.
I'm slapping that into could be better.
You would.
Yep. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it from the very get-go until, and we've talked about this before, I believe, but I'm not going to get into too detail on that. We might need to do a separate video for this one,
Oh,
but
we definitely will
but
be. These are fighting words right now.
right, because I know how much you enjoyed this, but to
hmm
me, it was not like the initial characters, her being the quote unquote mom figure, him being the quote unquote outcast, almost rebel like kind of character, and then he brought them the writer brought them from that into something so mainstream and so generic and bland that I didn't care about him anymore. And it went from this weird awkward buildup of like attraction and love and all that into something that I just didn't give a damn about. And then the moment she turned into a masochist, I was like, nope. This is, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with masochistic characters because I mean, look at Darkness from Konosuba, like one of my favorite characters in any anime. Like I love it, but they just it was out of the blue. It was just so random. I did not like it. Now I'll go ahead and let you rate it now.
You're gonna leave me so much bone, and I'm gonna just chew it right up. I'm putting that thing right in a B tier.
Into the B tier. I was
I'm put.
expecting A tier, honestly, so I'm surprised.
No, that is B tier. I am going to be a little bit critical of it because I mean you are right. It was, but for a little bit of a different reason. You say they took a story and then they just went bam, completely changed it. Well, no, not necessarily. What they did was it was the point, and they even made it. They made reference of it. Them characters themselves. They were finding something new about each other that they didn't
Mm-hmm.
originally know. It was,
Mm-hmm.
that's the same. I can relate that to any relationship, really. You know, you get with somebody, you only see so much, but spend more time with them, and the more time you spend with them, the more you're going to learn about them, and the more you're going to find out, oh,
Well,
wait, that's new. Yes, it could have been better at some points, and yes, there could definitely be a lot more of the anime that I would love to see, but as it sits, I'm giving it a B, and I actually really enjoyed it.
okay, fair enough, fair point. So then, if you were to move on to your next one, what would it be then?
Um, I'll go a little adjacent here. I'll throw a little curveball in there. I will go with let's go with Ruby Ice Queendom, kind of
Ruby
a
Ice Queendom. All right, which one is
kind
that
of a
on
new
this?
one.
Right there. Okay. And
Got it. All
what
right.
are we giving it? Because I have not seen this
It,
one, so this is all you.
it's going right in the A tier.
It is an A tier. Okay.
It is going very high in the A tier. Whenever we start filling in more, it'll get shuffled around, obviously. But
Yep.
no, it's going in A tier. It just actually, to be honest, finished up the English dub just this last week, basically, I want to say. Instead of straight going from one adventure to the next or one big build up just to have something else completely new happen and you have to completely change everything up. This one actually kind of takes a slow down approach and introduces a new kind of side story. Yes, it reintroduces you to the characters and how they got to the in the beginning, but then it takes basically the entire rest of volume 1 and gives you an adjacent side story that's like, okay, this happened in the background that you didn't originally see. Now we're giving you a new story to look at and to explore. So, hey,
Okay.
they weren't just going from one adventure to the next, or Osmond wasn't making them do missions left and right. This was, it was a little bit of a new twist and a little bit of a new way to say, hey, there's more to this story and more things that can be played around with, I guess you could say. In the way they executed it, I mean, definitely bringing in more of the Japanese art style to it instead of what you're used to with the old, Ruby American art style. So that also was a
Right.
nice little flavor twist.
Okay. Okay. Um. So for my next one, um, I'm gonna do it just to get it out of the way, and you know exactly how I feel about this. Devil is a part timer. Did not enjoy.
Okay.
Now, this is a 50-50 thing because obviously we both know the first season was fantastic. It was great. But after I think it was like 10 plus years before it was like 8 to 10 years I believe, something like that, before the second season, they changed. Did you ever watch the second season?
I honestly cannot say I have.
Okay. So the problem with the second season is that not only was the writing just terrible, but they changed the direction of the characters and the art style. Now, they made them look far younger, and the animation, I mean, it is clean, it looks nice, but the characters don't look almost anything like they're supposed to. And adding the kid to it didn't add anything to it other than an annoyance. And the weird bond, I didn't go that route. I did not like it. The first season was great. Just leave it at that. Don't even bother with the second. Pretend it doesn't exist. It was
Well,
just that bad. Okay, so what's your next one then?
let's go with Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney,
Ace Attorney. It's a low A tier for me.
low A tier. Okay.
It's a low A. Ace Attorney, like most anime, and the animation you see,
Mm-hmm.
their source material comes from a manga or a light novel.
Yeah.
In this case, it's totally different. The anime and actually the manga slash light novels came from its original source, which is the video game franchise, the Ace Attorney franchise.
Okay.
So, as somebody who's played the original trilogy of the Ace Attorney franchise and even the further games that are in the timeline and the adjacent ones, that's a different story. But as somebody who's played the original trilogy and has actually knows the story, knows the twist, seeing it actually produced in an anime form and seeing a visual representation and how creative they can be with it, even though, hey, you know the answer.
Hmm.
It's actually really good. If you've played the games, you will definitely, in my opinion, you will definitely enjoy watching the anime.
Okay. All right. So moving on to my next choice here. Um, you know what? I'm gonna throw in my first must see, and that's gonna be Violet Evergarden. Now, Violet Evergarden is a fantastic watch. It's beautiful. The story is compelling, traumatic, and like just it's hard to put into words just how beautiful this show or this I forgot, yeah, because it started as a TV series before it was any of the movies. So it's fantastic. And spoiler alert here, I'm not going to say anything that happens, but I loved every second of it until the last 5 seconds of it. And I'll get into more of a discussion on that later and then maybe in a different video. Now, I myself avoided the two movies, and there's a reason for it that I'm not going to get into right now, but taking it from the TV series, it is definitely a must see. It is very traumatic. You will most likely shed a tear or two, and the story is beautiful. It is fantastic, and I recommend it to anybody who loves like a very very powerful story.
All right. That's a tough one here. I guess you know what. Let's. You threw in one, I threw in one. Let's throw in another one that we've both seen. Let's hit them with the Toradora. It's going above Ice Queendom. It
You're
is
s-
going in A tier,
okay,
and then
so you're an
I
A
will.
tier, and
And it's
I am
very high.
a must see. All right,
Okay.
so you explain yourself, sir. I want to know why this is
Uh,
not S tier for you.
I might be spoiler alert, might not be a spoiler alert. Don't get me wrong. I loved I loved the concept. I absolutely did. You
Hmm.
know, two people have feelings for two completely different people.
Right.
They help air quote each other. I mean that
When was the help
help
ever involved?
help is a very strong word to
Right.
use there.
Yeah.
If you watch it, you'll understand. That right there leads to, like much like you said with Violet Evergarden, to the last flipping minute, basically right to the end. It had me going. I wanted to see where it was ending. I was hoping for
Yep.
the best. I was expecting something. I halfway got it, and it left me wanting more. So
Exactly.
the only reason why I cannot honestly put it into S tier, just solely based on how the ending went down.
See, and that's why Toradora to me is an absolute must watch, strictly for the fact that it hits every single box. It checks every
Uh-huh.
box that you want in an anime. It has powerful moments of sadness and like happiness at the same time. It has loss, it has happiness, it has, struggle and comedy. My God, the comedy.
Yep. No,
And
I agree. I agree.
the best part of this, and it is probably what makes it probably like so damn good. Every character in that crew has very, very deep character development.
No, no,
Like,
no. You're hitting every note, and I agree full far. I don't. There is nothing I don't disagree with you so far.
yeah, like even Ami, like when you just get on with her thing, you think she is one way, but she's so much deeper as you go through the story and realize just so much more about her. And we're not going to get too much more into this because this is
Not
another
not.
one.
Yeah, that's
This
definitely
is a
its
discussion for a
own.
different day.
It gets its own time and place.
All right, moving on. I will grab the next one then, since
Hmm.
you threw that one up. Um, let's do our last one that we both had watched.
Oh wow, you're gonna go to that one
Yep. And
already.
you thought there was what is it? And you thought there is never a girl online.
Yep.
I'm giving this a good watch. It
Okay.
wasn't the best because it does make you want more, and it it was good. It was very good, but I can't give it a must see or a hard to match because there are other ones that are similar to it, like Gamers and all that, but Gamers didn't live up to this one, obviously. And it was very funny. It was just a very enjoyable watch. There's nothing that I can really hate on it for, but there's not too much I can really praise it for either. I love the main two characters. I mean, there's obviously four to six of them. I can't remember, but the main two that is in this icon here, um, they're just so lovable, and her in
Mm,
particular, like she's nutty, like she's cray cray,
mm.
but I
Uh-huh.
love it. And
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's not good enough for me to say that it's hard to match.
No, in some ways, I will definitely agree with you. For me, I'm slotting it in the B tier.
Into the
It, it
B tier.
it's going below Horimiya
Okay, fair
in the B
enough.
tier. And no, you touched on a lot of it. Now, see, it's definitely a great watch. It's hard to say that it's not bad, but it doesn't really have much there. It's
Right.
typical. It's a basic one.
So we're both kind of like in agreements here that, or agreeing here that it is, it's just run of the mill. It's not
It
bad. It's not great.